Welcome to Leading with Purpose, the podcast that's dedicated to helping you become the leader you aspire to be. Join us on a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and inspiration as we explore the world of leadership and personal growth. In each episode, we will explore the art and science of effective leadership, bringing you insights, stories, and strategies from experts and thought leaders across various industries. And now your hosts, Dawn Marie Bornhammer, Maisha B. Hoy, Janelle E. Taylor, and Dr. Sharon H. Porter. Welcome to Leading with Purpose, the podcast that's dedicated to helping you become the leader you aspire to be as you lead, empower, inspire, and achieve. I am Dr. Sharon H. Porter, Editor-in-Chief of Vision and Purpose Lifestyle Magazine.
Welcome. My name is Janelle Taylor, CEO of the Jatora Corporation, and we are passionate about optimizing people, performance, and products.
Hi, I am Aisha Hoy, CEO of BSHG, which manages customer first marketing, QBOT, and Maisha's Lemonade Stand.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dawn Bornhammer. I'm the founder and impact leader for Mission Inspired Consulting. Excited to be here.
And we are truly excited to welcome our guest for this episode, Ms. Shelita Winfield Duke. She is the visionary founder and owner of She Win Unlimited, which is a leading personal development life coaching company. With unwavering faith and a passion for equipping Christian professional women over the age of 45, she is dedicated to helping them triumph in every facet of their lives. She Win Unlimited is the vehicle through which Shelita empowers women to unlock their potential, cultivate unwavering confidence, and embrace the joy that life offers. Miss Shelita Winfield Duke, welcome to Leading with Purpose.
Thank you so very much, ladies. It is a pleasure to be here on this love day.
Yes, we are recording on Valentine's. And so really excited about that. And I think we're all super excited to dig in and learn more about you. And if you will, just take the time to start and just tell us a little more about your background and how you actually got started in the personal development life coaching.
Sure. Dr. Porter, as you said, I am Shelita Winfield Duke. I am owner and CEO of She Win Unlimited, which is, like you said, a personal development life coaching program. I've been running this business for about 7 years now. And to answer the question of how I got into it, I had some setbacks, some disappointments in my life, and decided that they were not going to define me despite how I was feeling about them. And I realized that there were a lot of women that I was in contact with, that I was friends with, that I was connected to, that were feeling the same way. They were feeling a little downtrodden. They were stuck in the past. They were feeling like they did not deserve more than what they had at that moment. And in feeling that way, it was just like, okay, well, if I'm feeling that way and they're feeling that way, then obviously this might be an issue for women. And so just talking to other people, I began this ministry, is what I call it, this ministry and this business, to help other women really understand that the greatness that they're looking for is already inside of them.
So powerful. And as being an entrepreneur, we need people like you to help us stay guided and help us stay focused and help us stay, I guess, ambitious and really believe in ourselves.
Right.
But since you and I have such a journey together, Philadelphia, Shelita and I actually attended the best schools in Philadelphia public schools, Masterman and Girls High. And I wanted to really talk about that part, the Girls High part, because one of the things that I loved and I talk about all the time when I speak is going to an all-girls school. We saw leaders at the present, every single leadership position was a girl. Do you think that has helped you in developing She Win and the women that you work with?
I think foundationally it did, because I knew deep down that we could be anything that we desired to be, because we had such great examples. There were women that looked like me. There were women that didn't look like me, but none of that mattered in our foundational setting. It was just the camaraderie of a woman helping another woman, a young girl having someone to look up to, and a young girl having someone that they could talk to that was in the same trenches that they were. And so, like you say, here we are, I don't know, 40 some odd years later, and we are still connected. And I am still connected to so many other women that I went to middle and high school with. And that does not always happen. You know, there's always talk about how catty women can be. And while we experienced some of that, that really did not make the negative impact that it could have. We understood community, we understood sisterhood, we understood friendship, and those are the things that are foundationally part of where She Win comes from. So it's three parts to She Win. It's coaching, it's community, and it's curated experiences. And that community is a group of like-minded women who support, uplift, encourage one another to really do their best work, be their best selves, and live a life of joy and abundance. So yes, to your question, absolutely. And it's a wonderful thing. Women really can get along.
Yes, and it's funny, you and I will be testimony to that because I talked to another one of our Girls High alum, letting her know that we're going to share this interview with our whole group.
Oh my
And I
God.
actually think we've gotten closer as we've gotten older, right?
Right. And I think you tend to find that as we get older, we start to our need for connection and our value of connection increases. So, you know, I tell people all the time, yes, I still have my best friend from high school. And that does not always happen, but it is such a blessing because I don't have to get to know somebody all over again.
Right.
That's
Thanks,
awesome,
Shelita.
Shelita. Absolutely. Someone who grew up in a household with 6 sisters, my poor dad could get in the bathroom. So yes, I am an advocate and believe that women can get along because there were 6 of us in the house. So Shelita, I was encaptured by your article, Counting the Cost. This article, it reads like an inspirational monologue to me. Can you take me through your inspirational self-talk in this article and how you grew from I can't do this to making a decision that you are worth the cost of your investment and the cost of not taking that action? As I see you stand before this mirror, the cost of not taking that action, as you described, would be higher if you continue to listen to your voice of self-doubt.
Well, and that's exactly kind of where it started from, just that concept of self-doubt, because I had realized and in looking back that there were so many opportunities that I did not apply for or that I did not go after, not because I wasn't qualified, not because I couldn't, but because I chose not to, because I had told myself no. And I tell people all the time, don't tell yourself no. Allow someone else to tell you no if that is what the answer is going to be. And there has to be a point where you just say, I'm just going to put myself out there. Nothing beats a failure but a try. And so I owe it to myself. I owe it to my future to at least try, to at least put that foot forward to do all that I can do to make the situation work, to take advantage of the opportunity, or to just really say, I know that I can do this and I don't have to prove it to anybody else but myself. And the only way to do that is to seize the opportunity. And so when I think about, to answer the next part of your question, when I think about the things that I have been through, when I think about how down I was, I really had to say, okay, I know that this is not all that there is for me in life. I cannot just continue to meander through without any intention, without any direction, and without any impact. So I said, okay, I need to pull myself up by my bootstraps and really get focused on what it is that brings me joy and how to make that happen. And so I really focus on what brings you joy because those are the things that help you get through the mundane everyday situations that come and go, the things that make you smile, the things that you love to do, the things that make you warm within, those are the things that you want to focus on. Those are the things that you want to be able to put forth that effort to do continually. And so when I talk about counting the cost, I talk about not just what opportunities you miss from a professional standpoint, but I also talk about what opportunities do you miss from a personal standpoint? Because we've all either currently work or have worked a 9 to 5. We understand what it means to do the work, to put in the work, but we don't necessarily transfer that to ourselves. We don't necessarily put the work in to do the things that we want to do, that we love to do. And I think that's an important piece to being able to live a life of joy and abundance. And subsequent to that, or secondary to that, we also don't celebrate ourselves. That was another piece. We do not celebrate our successes, our accomplishments, our wins. We can be so down on ourselves as women because we're so busy all over the place, taking care of everything and everybody else until it comes to us. So I really had to stop and say, I am a bad woman, and it is okay to say that I am a bad woman. There's nothing wrong with that. Back in high school, it was, oh, you're so conceited. No, I'm really not. I really am a bad woman, and I'm okay with saying that. And I'm okay with sharing that with you as well.
Absolutely, Shelita. Isn't that the greatest joy that you can actually be proud of yourself without it being arrogant? Or
Right.
we really, in high school was when, most of us decided that it was okay because you didn't want to talk about it because, the imposter syndrome and things, but it seems like you found your power. And thank you again. I've downloaded that article and I put it on my vision board because it really it touched me with you looking in the mirror, and every woman has had that moment of reflection.
Right.
So I'm glad you found
Right.
your power and you're sharing it with everyone
Well,
else.
and thank you for that. I will say that I say often that entrepreneurship is a mirror to the soul. And I know we talk about working a 9 to 5, but as all of us on this podcast are entrepreneurs, we have to recognize that everything that is inside of us will come out in this entrepreneurial journey, good, bad, and ugly.
Absolutely, I
And so
agree.
if you don't learn how to celebrate yourself, if you don't learn how to toot your own horn, if you don't learn how to own and share your greatness, this journey will overtake you.
Definitely. So yes, kudos to all the fantastic women on this podcast because they are bad. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Yes. Well, clearly you're in good company here. We're very aligned, and so many of the things that you're saying, I keep thinking of the next exciting thing I want to ask you. But I was looking at your values for the business, for what you're curating and creating for women, and one of those values is forgiveness. And I know from my own personal journey that was one of my deepest lessons, right? And
Mhm.
so I'd just love to hear your perspective on the value and the need for all of us to find forgiveness both for others and for ourselves, especially from my perspective, the hardest one being when you don't receive an apology, so much as there's just some deep forgiveness that we all need to move through. I'd just love to hear your perspective there.
Absolutely not. Forgiveness keeps us stuck, keeps the person stuck. And because you're constantly replaying what happened, what was said, what should have been said, what could have been said, how things could have been different, what you could have done differently. And so it keeps the focus on the situation and it keeps you from seeing the future. And so it's hard to move forward without any forgiveness because you are constantly looking back at what happened. You are constantly looking for the other shoe to fall. You are constantly looking for those red flags that you may have missed because you don't want to miss them again. And there is a freedom in forgiveness because once you can forgive someone, you can forgive that situation, you can then let it go. You can just let it go. You can give it all to God and be done with it. I don't have to look for the red flags. I don't have to look for any shoes to drop. I don't have to look back in the past because that's exactly where it is, in the past. And unforgiveness keeps us looking at the disappointment and expecting the next disappointment. And so forgiveness is extremely important because it's a freeing of my own soul to be able to move forward and go in the direction that I'm supposed to be going.
No, thank you for that. I think it's Najwa Zabian that says the mountains you are carrying, you were only supposed to climb, right? And it's
Yeah,
about putting that down and recognizing that you just keep moving forward. And
absolutely.
so I
Because
love
this is
that. And thank you for teaching and educating individuals on that, because I don't think that everyone understands how stuck they might be in
right.
some of those old stories or situations.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to see when you're stuck. And my husband says it often. I've heard it often. When you're driving a car, you have your rear view mirror, which is so small that it's not supposed to be big because you're supposed to glance. You're not supposed to look. There's a difference. And so that front view mirror is so wide because you need to see everything that is in front of you, panoramic view. And so looking back is only going to cause you to crash, to hit something, to step in a pothole, or whatever the case may be. So looking back does not serve any justice to anybody. So you got to be able to forgive if you're moving forward.
No, beautiful. Thank you.
Hey, Shelita, one of your articles that really resonated with me was 7 life-changing reasons why you must achieve personal success. And I wanted to read the sixth one
Okay.
that you wrote, and it was personal success is saying yes to all of you. Self-acceptance is at the core of personal success. You see all of you, your weaknesses, your strengths, your weird habits, and achievements. You are the total package, not the one you struggle for others to see. And personal success says that you are aware of yourself and accept yourself. No guilt, no shame, just love inducted action to become a better person each day. Wouldn't you love that? And so I wanted you to really speak on all of you, right? As women, we don't always embrace all of us.
Right. Right.
So can you talk a little more about that?
Yeah, for me, when I wrote that, it was the bad decisions. It was really about the bad decisions, the bad choices. We tend to get wrapped up in guilt and shame because of things that we've done previously, decisions that we've made, choices that we made. And so the self acceptance is all about accepting all of that, the good, bad, and the ugly. You made the choice, you made the decision. It may not have turned out the best, it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. And that's okay, but don't stay stuck in that. And so the self acceptance is truly about accepting everything that you've done. The Bible says all things work together for your good. And so when I began to really embrace that all things really does mean all things, everything, the things that I'm ashamed of, the things that I don't talk about, the things that I try to stuff away, all things are working together. Because I wouldn't be here with you wonderful ladies if I was still walking in guilt, shame, or condemnation, because I would not have been able to A, forgive myself, and B, to be able to talk about it. Because that's part of the overcoming when you can share those things that you are ashamed of. Not only are you setting yourself free, but you also have the potential to set somebody else free. And self acceptance is really just that, accepting all of who you are, whether you like the things that you said, whether you like the things that you've done, whether you like the way that you look or the way you wore that dress or whatever the case may be. Self-acceptance says, I accept all of me, regardless of those things. Doesn't make excuses. I mean, you can't just constantly go out here and make these poor decisions. But what it does say is the decisions that I made, I will not allow myself to be held in shame or condemnation because of them. And it does not impact how great I am, and it does not impact the accomplishments that I've made.
Thank you for that.
Well, I feel like I am in church a little bit, which kind of leads me to my question. So I'm always on a spiritual journey. Like I've gone to the mosque, I've gone to the temple, but when I walk into Christian church, Baptist church, I feel like an imposter sometimes. Like I look at these ladies and I'm like, oh, they're so, is it their faith in God that makes them feel makes them seem so confident? So how did you choose to embrace the Christian woman as one of the people you were going to help lead up into this positivity that you project?
That's a funny question. Growing up, even before middle school, my grandmother always had me in church. I was at James Memorial United Methodist Church right by Germantown High School. I went to an HBCU, which also is not a Christian school, but we had requirements where we had to go to chapel so many times. We had to bring back the programs from church. We had to have church credits in order to graduate. So God, faith, ministry has always been a part of who I am. And so as an adult, obviously I've continued in that vein. And so a lot of my connections, friends, family are church going women. And despite how good God is, there were so many women that I was in contact with that were still not living a life of joy and abundance that God promises us. And so they would come to me and they would share things with me, and I'd share things with them, and we talk and we cry and we plan and we organize and we support one another. And it was just a natural extension because that's who I am. Everything about me and the work that I do is faith-based, everything. And so it really was not a thought. It just was a natural extension of who I am. And so you're absolutely right. You will always hear me bringing up scripture, talking about God, talking about the Bible, talking about Jesus, talking to Christian women. Like that is just the foundation and the core of who I am. And it naturally is reflected in everything I do, personal and professional.
Well, like I said, I like that you call your business a ministry, and listening to you, this is me getting to know a different side of you. I see why you call it a ministry. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So people call it a business tree, like a business and a ministry, put the words together. But at the end of the day, it's ministry forward for me.
Love it.
I love that you segued almost into my question, because the connection, I was going to ask you from Loudoun County, Shelita, to the U.S. Marine Corps recruiting, to your federal government management. You've always been in charge with the space of outreach and connecting, arranging and assigning placements of people according to their respective requirements. But what moment was it that you embraced that it was time to let go and disconnect from the agencies and focus more on the people within the organizations as an entrepreneur through coaching?
So I still work. I'm not giving up my good retirement. So I am still working 9 to 5. So it's a balance, it's a harmony between the two. But when you are doing, goes back to the whole joy, when you're doing something you love, when you are meeting women who you enjoy engaging with, you enjoy being in community with, it makes it so much easier. So it's very easy at this stage of my life to be like, okay, work is over. And I transfer from one computer to another. So work ends and she win begins. And it's just, I don't know any other way to answer your question other than it really is just a natural extension because I get so much joy out of it. I love talking to women. I love meeting women. I love engaging with women. I host an annual women's retreat, and this is coming up on year number 7. And it's just it's a monumental feeling to know that you are impacting women in a variety of stages in my life and in theirs.
That's outstanding, Shelita. I mean, like like the description says, you not only get the job done, but you also get the people involved. So walking the walk is, that's one of the epitomes of being, a true, authentic leader. Thank you for that question.
All right. Well, I'm excited to talk about curated travel. Like, tell me about a curated experience, because I've had experiential opportunities. I've gone on retreats, and it's part of my healing and part of my up-leveling. And there's something so magical about turning out the outside noise and being where your feet are and spending time with the people that you're with for a very intentional purpose. And I would just love to hear from you. What can someone expect if they were to join you on a curated experience?
So the biggest thing that you would expect is community. I'm connected to some awesome women. And at the retreat last year, I mean, we have PhDs in the room. We have women who are in supply chain management, which is not an easy field for women to be in. We have entrepreneurs, we have pastors, just a variety and a difference of women who are in the room year in and year out. And I think what you can expect is fun. You can expect lots of laughs. You can expect great connections and great networking, but you can also expect a lot of self-reflection. So it is always impactful in that everything I do causes you and it's designed for you to look at you, not the kids, not the spouse, not the job, not the church, not anything else, but for you to look at you and how can you really hone in on not just your own greatness, but the things that brings you joy. And that's really how the curated experience started because I began to look at what was missing in that travel piece, which is separate and new, was the piece. I love the travel, and that was the piece that was missing. And coming out of this COVID time frame, I needed something fun to focus on. I needed something fun to look forward to as people are getting back in the office and, just kind of getting back to what our new normal is. And it's cold here at this point in time, and the days are short. And so I was like, okay, I need something to give me to look forward to. And travel does that for me. And I just wanted to share that with everybody because, I mean, Dawn, you're in Hawaii. Who doesn't love the travel? Who doesn't love to go somewhere where they can just turn off everything and just rest and relax and have a really good time, whatever that is for them? So that's where that came from. But as far as the annual retreat, that's the annual experience. And it is an opportunity for women to come together, to meet, to talk, to laugh, sometimes to cry, always to pray together, and just to really get that release in that time where they are focusing just on themselves and no one else.
I love that. And many of us need someone to just give us permission, right, to do that. And so by creating a space, you give women permission and invite them in. So I love that. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. So just as one other point. So on Friday night, we have a get together. Last couple of years, it was a paint and sip just to kind of hang out and get to know one another. And Saturday is the all day conference, and we typically do something Saturday evening. And we will on Sunday, depending on what time people are leaving, we'll do something Sunday morning as well. So we do try to make it an weekend experience based on where people are traveling from. And I've had people travel from Philadelphia, from Jersey, from Maryland, from a variety of states to come and kind of just hang out and see what it's all about.
I love it. I love it. And at this time, I'm going to ask, is there any other questions for Miss Shelita that anyone is burning to ask? I see you, Maisha. I see you.
Yeah, did we miss the retreat? Is the retreat?
No, it's this year. It's every September. This year it is the 14th of September. I had to change the date because I'm going to Sarah Jake's Women That Are Loose in Texas.
Ooh, okay.
And the place where I have it, the date that I wanted, they didn't have available. So it's the 14th of September this year.
Okay.
But it's always in September. I'll make sure you ladies get an invitation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Shelita, this has been such an amazing conversation. We want to say thank you for taking the time to be our guest for this episode. And please take this opportunity to share with our audience how can people connect, reach out with you, and of course, join this wonderful retreat.
So the first way I would say, well, first let me say this. Thank you to each of you ladies for your time, for your commitment, for your passion to doing the things that you guys are doing. It is wonderful that you have taken the time and the initiative to say, I want to create a space for people to talk, for women to talk and to come together and to get to know one another and to share all of the greatness that they are doing themselves. And so each of you are doing wonderful, wonderful things individually and collectively. And I am so honored that Maisha thought of me to say, hey, can we interview you? Like, I was like, me husband, okay. So
I try to get all
thank
my
you.
people on this show.
To
I
say thank
love
you
it.
to that. And so to answer your question, Sharon, the easiest way to get in touch with me is to go on the website, www.shewinunlimited.com. My number is, telephone number is 571-248-1220. But the easiest, quickest, and most efficient way is to just go log in to the website. You can learn all about me, what I'm doing, and you can reach out. I have a free 30-minute call if people just want to chat for a second. But all of that is on the website. So that's the quickest, easiest, most resourceful place to go.
Awesome, awesome. She is Miss Shelita Duke Winfield. Thank you so much for joining us. And to our viewers, we thank you as well. Thank you for joining us on Leading with Purpose podcast today. Again, I am Dr. Sharon H. Porter.
I am Aisha B. Hoy.
I am Janelle Taylor.
And I'm Dawn Bornheimer. And remember, as you navigate your leadership journey, it's not just a philosophy, but leading with purpose is a commitment that we all make to a positive impact.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with your network. And don't forget to subscribe so you will never miss an opportunity to explore the intersection of leadership and purpose.
As always, continue to lead, empower, inspire, and achieve.
And until next time, lead with passion, lead with positive intention, and by all means, continue to lead with purpose. Thank you for joining the Leading with Purpose podcast. Please join us every Monday for a new episode.